the dark groups have a lot of similarity. They are dark groups. Either you are a member of it and you're happy with your life and you enjoy. This is a dark group. It's creating dark. It's not bringing any salvation. It's bringing unjust rottenness to the human race. I understand you will be angry right now, and you will do your best to destroy the real Islam, which is considered Sunni Islam. And you will say, look at that. تصطادون في الماء العكر. تصطادون الشوائب. Look at that reaction, terrorist. Look at what this government is doing. This doesn't work. Each accusation of yours, I will have an explanation about it. But you will never have an explanation about what I am gonna say. It's not an accusation. It's fact about this dark group. I'm not gonna talk about the so-called Hindus or the so-called Buddhist or the so-called Christian. No. I'm gonna talk about two groups. That's it. They all have this similarity. But now I'm talking about these two groups. The two group is the so-called Shiite, who call themselves Shiite of the family of Muhammad, where they are not. We are the real Shiite of family of Muhammad. And the other dark group, those who insist calling themselves Jews. Okay? Now, if you are among those who are anti-Zionist Jew, committed and devoted to represent yourself by calling yourself anti-Zionist Jew, and you know the history and you understand things maybe more than me, and that's why you insist on calling yourself an anti-Zionist Jew, I don't mean you. Okay? There is a treatment when we talk about your respectable position or faith. So I'm not talking about you, and please allow me to speak. So, TUQYA. The term TUQYA in both of these two groups, those who insist on calling themselves Jews in relation to the occupation of the Holy Land, and those, it's a line, خطوات تاريخية, steps of history. You can even track it to medieval Europe. And when you talk about those who call themselves Shiite, TUQYA is a term used, mean hiding yourself to protect yourself. The normal Muslim, like me, will use TUQYA in case, for example, I'm dealing with to hide my belief, just to hide my belief in case if there is a real persecution on me. Fine, his name is Jesus, for example. Yeah, his name is not Isa. His name is Jesus. Just to protect, I am allowed to do this. Father and Son and the Holy Spirit, for example, and yeah, fine. Muhammad is not saying the truth. Muhammad is trying to do a good job and protect the society there. Okay. Jesus was crucified, whatever. His name is Jesus. I keep my mouth shut. This is the acceptable TUQYA. Now, their TUQYA is no. It have nothing to do with the Islamic TUQYA. Their TUQYA is to come and approach, for example, a businessman, and say to him, don't delete my video. And say to him, now this example will take a lot of time. Is, for example, going to the so-called Zionist movement, or going to a monk or a leader. Here, for example, in the West. Let me give you this example. Imagine if there is a church, or a temple, or whatever, and those leaders hate Islam. Their TUQYA, the so-called Hindus and those so-called insistent calling themselves Jews, to a certain level and more. They go and approach those people and say, we are with you, and hide the truth about them to gain something. This is not acceptable in Islam. So, for example, I have no right to go to the government here in England and say, I am Christian, just to have my ID. No, this is not acceptable. I'm a so-called, no, it's not acceptable. You can go, you can approach them and say the truth that I am wallahi persecuted and I want to stay here and I respect the country. There's things like that, and I like the country. Definitely, there is a lot of Muslims, but you have no right to come, for example, and you are from the conservative societies of regardless, and you come and you say, I'm no longer Muslim, I hate Muhammad. Muhammad is a bad person. Muhammad is a pedophile. Okay, this is a lie, of course. Muhammad is a terrible person, and I want to stay here. Okay, this is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. You understand me? When you go and talk to this about the so-called Shiite, and those who call themselves Jews, oh, they do worse. I don't want to give examples. And invading Iraq, the so-called Zionist Jews, they will go to the so-called Christian and they will say, we are brothers in one war, fighting to defeat Saddam Hussein. And of course, they send a lot of troops among the so-called Christian, stupid in the West. Dead 70,000 from England, 1,000 from America. A lot of South American so-called Christian was sent so that if they returned back, they would have the American passport. And they died in America. And the Jew would do like this. The so-called Shiite would come and say, we are fighting the terror. The Sunnis are behind this terror, while they are the worst representative of what they call Islam. Okay, you understand me? The Sunni in the so-called Shiite will come and say to you, though they love they love those who are descended from who say that they are descended from the family of Muhammad. They believe in mut'ah, even with children, and they will come and say this is about the Sunnis. The Shiite are not like this. The Shiite are more liberal, to hide themselves. And once they achieve their goal, they do but not the Sunnis. The Sunni are the normal Islam. You can remember it with Salah ad-Din al-Ayyubi, with Umar ibn al-Khattab. When they were powerful, they didn't treat people with disrespect. This is the real Islam. Now theirs are different. The Iranian will show respect to the so-called the Jews community until they get what they want. Once they get they want, the different face will show itself. Now, that's it. Like the so-called Christian as well. The so-called Christian, there is a lot of rich Jewish people who start smiling at them and trying to... If you're gonna come and talk about Gulf states right now, Gulf states have nothing to do with Islam. Again and again, have nothing to do with Islam, the regimes. Now don't question me. Don't question me, because you know it and I know it. I am saying the truth. Now this dark group, the TUQYA, unbelievable. It can reach unbelievable levels. The Hakhams, the monks, the mullah in Iran. There is a similarity between all dark groups, but there is, now we're talking about Middle East, how the devil have the manifesto of the work of the devil, how he reformed these dark groups by the intruders, by the willings of human. They accepted it. That's it. I'm trying not to say anything so that the video would be deleted. Okay, I'll finalize it, because if I keep on explaining about TUQYA, definitely you will delete the video. You're saying this is hate. I didn't say all. I told you that the anti-Zionists are wonderful. I told you there is a lot of people who are considered... I'm calling myself a Shiite. I am in love with Imam Ali, peace be upon him. I'm in love with Imma. They are not messengers. With Fatima, the innocent, with Imam Hassan and Hussein, and they did a great job, but those people have nothing to do with it. And at the same time, they are insulting Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman. Now regardless, this is the TUQYA. At the time of Saddam Hussein, they hid their face, and once changed, not all of them, okay, exactly in Gulf states, they go, that's it. See, you will delete my video. The Jews at the time of Sultan Abdul Hamid, the final leader of the Ottoman Empire, and before him, what they used to say, and look what they are doing in the Holy Land, because it's dark group. Now, that's it, so that you wouldn't delete my video. I can go further, hours, wallahi, I swear by Allah, I can go hours explaining about this. I'll keep my mouth shut. We are human. We should only respect the truth here, and respect. There is a line between each another, privacy and rights. That's it. I understand life can be hard sometimes, like for people to recognize the truth. I understand. I'm a man with experience. I'm not rubbish like many, but still, definitely, yeah. Definitely. I need to look and respect to myself, though I have dealt with it. Now, let's go to the main topic right now. The main topic, which I am starting TUQYA about, is magic. All of this dark group, so-called Christian, not now. Maybe there is a group and brotherhood, like spiritual, unacceptable methods. Okay, in America happened, but the so-called Christian right now, they are not involved in magic the way they used to be in محطات تاريخية في تاريخ so-called and the time before. But right now, and I'm not going to talk about the so-called Hindus, the so-called Buddhists. magic among the so-called Shiite and the so-called Jews in the Holy Land. When it's come to TUQYA, the term TUQYA, trust me, the Jews are more using the TUQYA than the so-called Shiite. I understand the so-called Shiite will enjoy this. Oh yeah. The TUQYA happened last century, 1910, World War I, World War II, the time of Balfour, Hensel, the Gomes, of course, before him and after. The devil is, of course, monitoring it, not Allah, not Allah is allowing it. Allah prophesied it by Muhammad. I have explained many times that Daniel prophesied the return to the Holy Land, and then prophesied the Messiah, and then the Messiah prophesied when they are not accepting, no signs of acceptance to him, and he shall return back by the miracles of God to the real Israelis. He prophesied the destruction of the house of Allah, Masjid al-Aqsa, and Muhammad came, peace be upon him, and said, we shall build it based on the instruction of God after my death, like Moses. After him, the Israelites went to conquer the Holy Land, kick the dark possessing satanic elite from the Holy Land which is occupying it, and build the house of worship. And Muhammad, peace be upon him, prophesied that there will be an establishment of a Jewish state, تأتي لفيفة من اللفلف. ربط العقد والعياذ بالله على أنفسهم. And Muhammad, peace be upon him, prophesied this establishment of the Jewish state as a bad thing, not as a good thing. So they have no prophecies, as if they call themselves Jews, do not believe in the Messiah, son of Virgin. It doesn't make sense. There must be a Messiah. This is the joke that they are living. And the so-called Christian, they shouldn't say, God promised this to the Jews and gave it the Holy Land to the Jews. No. He gave it to the Israelite based on the Judean way. I'm tired from explaining to you the truth, but you will keep insisting because you insist on yourself to be in hellfire. It's Muhammad, peace be upon him. It's wrong. Like, for example, Muhammad prophesied that when the Messiah, peace be upon him, would come, there will be a lot of elimination to human, an unbelievable bad time, far worse than to be explained by the word tribulation. كثرة الهرج، الزنا، أبناء الحرام، اللقاط، القتال، القتل، يكثر القتل، الفقر، الفيمن, sickness, all disease, terrible time. Human and Satan would almost walk with people, living his glory time, dark glory time. Does this mean that Muhammad prophesied it, so we need to do it? And when it happened, then we are doing what God wants. No, it's a prophecy. So the so-called Christians shouldn't say this. It's Muhammad. It's already prophesied by Daniel. It happened to the Israelis. This is an occupation, okay? Now, when it's come to the TUQYA, those who call themselves Jews are far worse than the so-called Shiite. But still, the so-called Shiite are criminal. Do not delete my video. Are criminal when it's come to the TUQYA, hiding themselves in unacceptable method. There is no harm, no danger, for example, in Gulf states on their life, for example. They come and they lie. And they say, Wahhabis are terrible and bad. And we are here as so-called Shiite, are in love with the monarch. And we have nothing to do with Iran. And we are here, yes, and our children will work even to your security, like Al-Alqami at the end of Abbasid. They show that they are, if I do it here, no, I will be committed as a Muslim. Either you are a good Muslim or not. There is the Aqidah thing. If I give a promise, I'm not munafiq. آية المنافق ثلاث. إذا واحد أخلف. If he give a promise, he retreats. No, promise is a promise. Now, regardless that they are even intruders in the Ishmaelian territory. Now, this is another. The so-called Shiite are using TUQYA. Now, I'm talking about magic. Oh, let's hope that you wouldn't delete the video. They are insulting us in many and different. There is magic. Now, it's not an accusation, it's the truth. They are dealing with a terrible black magic, changing the point of views of the so-called Christian about those who call themselves Jews, the so-called Shiite, even at the 90s. That's why you will find a lot of leaders and politicians and others who say that the Shiites are better than the Sunnis. Some would say the Jews should be there, they are more liberal. You understand me? I'm serious. They are doing some magic. These monks, they are doing some real magic. And they believe that this is the family of Muhammad helping them. And they believe that this is Yahweh and his Messiah giving them instruction. Do you remember that? The Messiah soon will come. He said to Netanyahu. Nitin, yeah. He said it. There is a video. And others saying that they talked to the Mahdi and he's wandering the world. Yeah, there is something. And they do all of this magic to make people change their attitude. This is it. And it's may Allah protect us. I'm not saying all, but I'm saying that these magicians are in relation with some politicians. And they do this magic. And you can see, based on the result, there is some politicians at the time of Bill Clinton and Bush Jr. They say things is different right now. I don't know why. Honestly, go and ask some. At the time when there was a invasion on Iraq, the way they looked at Jews and the way they looked at the Shiite, and until now. And people before being with Joe Biden, they used to see something different, and now they are different. This is magic. Some people would say, I don't feel anything. I think the Jews have the right to be there. They are more liberal. They are deep in it, or they are arrogant and ignorant. Someone who says the Shia didn't do any bombs here in Europe the way Sunnis are doing. The Wahhabists are the one who did not help us in Iraq. The Shia helped us against Saddam Hussein, who was a terrible dictator. A terrible dictator, Saddam Hussein, and there was a lot of Ismailian from Gulf states coming to help their own people in Iraq after they would start being a victim and raped and killed and whatever. Yeah, the Muslim Sunnis, basically it's religion. After the Shiite who helped us, beheaded the children, raped the women, helped us in our invasion. Magic, be careful. TUQYA and magic. I need to close. Don't delete my video. No privacy for me. Hello there.